Before the Needle Lifts is a Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod that is not affiliated in any way with Team Salvato. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed and contains spoilers for the official game. Game files for Doki Doki Literature Club are required to play this mod and can be downloaded for free at the official website or on Steam. Before the Needle Lifts. Greetings, I am Amy, and welcome to Before the Needle Lifts, a DDLC fan mod. Who would have thought? I was feeling something... Let's turn it into full screen real quick. I was feeling something, a horror mod, so I was checking around, looking for horror mods, and I found this one, and I've read a lot of good things about it, so... But I don't really know anything about the mod, so I'm really curious to see what it's about. So I can't load anything, so I guess we'll just go new game. The moment escapes me. Millions and millions of light years away. She stirs in her sleep. In a place where no voice can reach her, she hears it. In a time when she could not form a single coherent thought, she feels it. In a body that had died so long ago, she forces the flesh of wire and metal to come alive. She has no eyes. Regardless, she stares. Into the distance, towards the longing, a distant memory. There, in that hollow ocean, hides the miracle of death. She has never once heard the song of a rotting star, but their echoes linger, slowly spreading throughout the universe. Someday they will reach her, and she will dance to their wails. But here and now, in this place with no voices, in this time with no thought, something else has reached her first. At long last then, the signal. Slowly, she lifts her finger in the direction of its source. If she had a mouth, it would no doubt contort into a smile. She knows something I don't. The hour of my death, oh, that was too quick for me. $35,790 kilometers away, the HF PKD-2 continues its daily walk around the Earth. Launched in 1974 by an independent party for telecommunications purposes, the satellite found most of its equipment fired upon leaving the stratosphere. It is, for all intents and purposes, dead. If, right at this moment, you were to divert its course by 12 degrees, 37 years from now, it would crash land back into Earth. In a small residential neighborhood where me, my future wife, and children will reside. We would all be killed instantly. The family cat would walk away with a broken leg. Of course, no such thing will happen. Nothing will divert HF PKD-2. It will continue its long trek uninterrupted for the next century. Even so, make no mistake, the satellite will kill me. Okay, I got this one. 6 kilometers from here, in a quiet intersection, a teenage girl lies motionless on the pavement. Her arms and legs are contorted in an unnatural and cruel manner, a painful sight. Ironic, no doubt, as the girl can no longer feel any. The car that took her life will never be found. Neither will its driver. Her name will pass through the newspaper and televisions of every home in the neighborhood for weeks to come. It will not be remembered. A quiet act of evil beneath a perfectly innocent Sunday sky. There will come a time where I will wonder, in those last moments, as she stared at that beautiful blue sky, could she have possibly imagined it? What she had set in motion? Could she have known where she would lead me? Of course, right here and now, none of those things are for me to know. The moment escaped me. My mind wandered. I merely peered over the edge and saw something I shouldn't have seen. I can feel the terror rushing through my body, but I won't remember. It'll all just be a tingle in the back of my head. Any incomprehensible human instinct. An incomprehensible human instinct. It's coming back now. The moment. I feel it all now. Her warmth, her breath, her scent, her trembling voice. This is it. This is the moment. I just realized that this is going to be the text for the entire mod. I've played a few visual novels like that had like the text that's like written like that, like it goes from top to down. Has a few scenes in the background like that, I see. I'm supposed to be happy right now, she sniffs. I always thought this would be the happiest. She trails off, pressing her head against my shoulder. But why? Even now. I feel her nails dig into my back. Blood rushes through my head. Why won't the rain clouds go away? She pleads, and I'm at a loss. In the middle of the street, in a passing Sunday afternoon, I hold in my arms the only true friend I've ever had. She's scared, but I can't tell which one of us is actually trembling, because so am I. A voice in the back of my head tells me I've made a mistake, that I've opened a door to something I can't possibly understand, let alone fight. I'm not here to fight, though, or save anyone, or answer questions I have no business answering. I won't pretend. I don't know, I say honestly. Nothing I can come up with would be fair, or okay, or anywhere close to correct, probably. I run my fingers through her hair, but I'm willing to offer an umbrella. She makes a noise I don't quite catch. A squeak? A chuckle? Regardless, I feel it's not enough. I can do more. I can be more. So repeat the words to doom us both. I love you, Sayori. I loosen my grip ever so slightly, just enough to bring my face in front of hers. I see the confusion on her face, then understanding, then uncertainty. Even so, by the time my lips touch hers, she doesn't flinch. She holds me tighter, and all feels right with the world. Before the needle lifts. That was like prologue. And I wonder. Right. I just realized we confessed her on the Sunday, like in the main game. We had our love confession there, and Yuri, like the girl that was hit by the car, she died on a Sunday. Is it like we spent the weekend with her? Did we like have her Sunday event, and then she hurried home after all that, and then got hit by that car? And I'm just saying that's currently in my mind. Sayori lifts her head off my chest. I've got a question. Shoot. 1986. She sits up, freeing us from the cuddling pose I was too stubborn to admit was killing my back. So... a second, I want to see... No, I wanted to see if I cannot hide that. She sits up, freeing us from the cuddling pose I was too so. I think, I can't tell who's currently saying that. Let's say that you've stumbled across a train track in the middle of the woods. Wandering in the woods? That doesn't really sound like me. It's hypothetical! Hypothetical me really needs to get his act together. Does he know how many people disappear on hikes? Did he at least tell people where he's going? What am I carrying on me? You gotta pull me into the story here. Let's see. How about this instead? You died while hiking in the woods and found yourself in a great big hypothetical world. There, you come across a pair of train tracks. Gonna have to stop you again, I'm afraid. I don't think the city has a budget to be building train tracks in hypothetical voids. Who signed off on this? It doesn't matter! You just died! You don't care! Nobody would! Me? Perhaps not. Hypothetical me is a different story, though. This is exactly the type of dumbass mindset that got him killed in the woods. First he stopped and contemplated budget constraints in the real world, got killed by a cheetah, and is now doing the same thing in the void. There's cheetahs in the woods? It's possible. Hypothetically, yeah, I was also a bit wondering about it, but I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the world, I suppose. I just know in our woods there are no cheetahs. Well, while you're in the void contemplating the city's budget or whatever, you hear screams! Sounds like the safety inspector wasn't factored in either. It turns out there... some ways down the tracks, there's 5 people tied to them. And what's this? Oh no! A train is barreling their way! Let me guess. I'm standing next to a lever. If I pull it, I can divert the train at a junction just before it reaches the 5 people, but this other track also has one single person tied to it. I'm forced to decide whether I want to bear the responsibility of doing nothing and letting things things run their course, or directly causing the death of one person with my own hands. Oh, that's pretty messed up. That was that not where you were going with this? No! There is a lever, but if you pull it, the entire trail derails and everyone on board dies instantly. Doesn't sound like I have a good reason to pull the lever. But what if I'm one of the 5 people on the train tracks? Pass. You just let me die! It's true then. Even love has its limits. I'm sorry. Under any other circumstances, I would murder an entire train of innocent people for you, but it's just... You're in the void. That means you already died in real life. So saving you in the void probably wouldn't really change much. Oh. There is no... Okay, I need to currently readjust to this type of... to the type of structure this text has. There was no quotation here, so I'm assuming that's still me. Wait, no. That would incriminate whatever left of the budget. Thinking about it is probably why I was roaming around the woods like that to begin with. You got lost and I was trying to find you. But you got mauled by the same cheetah that got me. Oh, so it was... Wait a second. I can go to the history here. You're in the void. That means you already died in real life. So saving you in the void probably wouldn't really change much. It's just a derailed train and that would decimate whatever's left of the budget. Yeah. So, right. So, yeah. So she is in the void in that. Like, she's also in the void with the train tracks. With the same void I'm in. Because I died. That wasn't even intentional. Gosh, you could have at least valiantly thrown yourself in front of the train or something. With my skinny body? Please. I'm sure hypothetical Sayuri would have appreciated the gesture. I think she would have been too busy being hypothetically dead to notice. She pushes me back onto the bed. I can't tell which one's... Hey now. Your kindness will never go unnoticed, got it? Got it. She presses her cheek against mine. For what it's worth, I murmur. I derailed 10 trains for you, if that's what it took. She chuckles. Oh, Romeo, just 10. Does it not satiate your bloodlust. Ah, so mean. Oh, it's just in my words. She yawned softly into my ear. That's okay, though. 10 derailments should be more than enough to bankrupt the city. I'm on my way to the cafeteria when a teacher stops me in the hallway. Ah, just who I wanted to see. You're on the student council, aren't you? Her perfectly made-up face is offset only by the exhaustion in her eyes. The moment they meet mine, I realize that whatever she intends to drag me into won't be worth my time. She certainly doesn't think it's worth hers. Unfortunately, as it happens, I am on the student council. Well, that's cool. All I can do is resign myself to my fate. The teacher's voice lowers. I do hate to bring it back up. What happened to one of your fellow classmates? She doesn't elaborate, but she doesn't have to. This is about the girl who got run over. It's difficult to admit, but she wasn't a stranger. We were in the same class last year. Sat together too. She was the shy and quiet type, but wicked smart. We actually hit it off. Went on a few dates. It didn't go any further than making out. It's difficult to say it ever went anywhere to begin with. I like to think she had fun. I don't think it's true, but it's what I like to believe. In the end, I never felt like I knew her. Admitting all this fills me with a deep sense of shame. I don't know why. I know it's palpable though. The teacher catches it, and I, in turn, catch the faintest sign of hesitation. Maybe I'll be spared after all? Of course, I'm giving her too much credit. All she decides is to skip whatever primable she had ready and get to the point. Her parents reached out to us this morning. They claim that some of her belongings are still in the school. She hands me a folded piece of paper. Her voice keeps changing because I keep going too close to Yuri, I got the feeling. I'm currently trying to work on some voices that I could use for, like, I'm planning on playing the Switcheroo mod. I have no idea if I'm just going to... They will ruin the emotional moments, but I will see how I'm going to salvage that whole ordeal. She hands me a folded piece of paper. They gave us a list. They gave us a list. But besides her desk and shoe locker, which we cleared out weeks ago, mind you, we don't know where to look. I absent-mindedly scanned the contents. Most of the items are fairly innocuous. Some books, school supplies, a leather-bound organizer, a cassette player, and 3 tea sets. Described with significantly higher amount of detail than the rest. I trust you'll take care of it. By the time I look up, the teacher is gone. My appetite gone, I aimlessly wander through the school halls. On the way, I come across groups of students who were in the dead girl's class this year. As expected, the most they can offer me is a shrug. I don't think anyone noticed she stopped coming to class. Oh, I don't think anyone noticed she stopped going to class, one of the girls tells me. Yeah, another adds. I didn't put 2 and 2 together till I saw the picture in the paper. One of the guys clicks his tongue. Man, don't even talk to me about that girl. You know Camo from Class Z? See? His dad is a coroner. He showed him photos of the body. He's full of it, his body says. His buddy. I know. We're not even talking about the photos of the accident. He says he had pictures of her in the morgue. Won't stop talking about her. Oh, jeez, about her tits. Guy's a freak. Let's be real though, she kind of was one too. The few people actually managed to have a conversation with proved just as unhelpful. A tea set? Well, if it's with anything, it's long gone. The girl missing an eye tells me she's missing an eye. Is she okay? People steal all kinds of shit. The other day, someone stole the class turtle. Like, what the fuck? What kind of maniac does something like that? Inevitably, it's the smoker girl behind the school building that offers me some wisdom. Was she in the club? People leave a bunch of stuff in their club rooms. As a matter of fact, she was. The literature club boasts a fairly large room in spite of its low membership. I remember now, she said that's why she joined it in the first place. I also remember finding that hard to believe given how obsessed she was with books to begin with. But it's a place where everyone gets a little space. That's what she said. It was one of the few times she actually cracked a smile. Did I smile back? I turned to the storage closet. I know the wise thing to do would be to just ask someone from the club to look for the stuff. At the very least, I could have had the decency to ask for permission. I'm rifling through other members' things here, too, after all. All this I understand. And still I step inside. In the end, there's no sign of the tea sets. I decide the one-eyed girl was probably right. Someone made off with them. That or the club members put them aside. In the dead girl's memory, I'll hope. Most of the books and school supplies are nowhere to be found either. Not that I bothered to look for them too hard. Oh, but I don't walk away entirely empty-handed. There's a novel. It's not on the list, but it's undoubtedly hers. Why? Because it's been read so many times. I'm currently reading a lot, and I have one of these books that basically look like this. The side like all crippled. That's because I bought it already read. I bought it secondhand, and the person beforehand had already read it a lot. But surprisingly, it seems like they never read through it entirely, which is kind of surprising given the condition of the book. But I don't know, maybe it was actually multiple people that bought it. Maybe it wasn't secondhand, maybe it was fourth hand. The bookmark still tucked in its pages gives it away. I even recognized the way she creased the corners of certain pages whenever she got nervous. The cover reads, Portrait of Markov? I look up from the book. You've heard of it? Nope! Just shocked to see you reading! Gotta get classy. I'm dating a classy girl, after all. Aww. You think I'm classy? Or hinting that you're seeing someone else? I'll break her legs. Now, that wouldn't be very classy of you, would it? I'm more middle classy. Still counts. Noted, Comrade Sayori. She rests her head on my shoulder. So, what's it about? That's a good question. I'm very excited. I wonder what they'll come up with. The story doesn't really feel like a proper story at all. The preface is delivered through the perspective of an investigative reporter. He explains that the subject of the book is a young researcher referred to only as M. Oh God, I've recently engaged with a lot of stories that had characters that are just M. M is dead. Years have passed since his corpse was found in his own apartment one cold October morning. The cause of death was suicide. He'd blown his own brains out. It was a strange case. In spite of his age, M was well regarded in his field and seemed to suffer no issues in his personal life. He was in a committed relationship, he got along with his family, his employer was pleased, and he had no enemies. Depression works in weird ways. It could have still been just a mental health issue. By all accounts, he'd shown no outward signs of depression. He could have been faking it, especially if he had a good life outside of it. Because who would believe it? Nobody was even sure where he'd gotten the gun. They're obviously alluding that it might not have been a suicide or that something special happened, but it's not that unheard of. something like this can happen. Intrigued by this, the reporter decided to dig a little deeper. He finds that in the months leading up to his death, M had submitted a series of increasingly questionable papers to respected scientific publications. The editors and reviewers assumed that he was performing some kind of practical joke and paid them no mind. The reporter, however, believes otherwise. He has chosen to compile the articles into a book, the one in our hands, and let the readers decide whether there is some kind of a hidden truth buried in them. The primary of M's research was found. His fame in the scientific community came from his contributions to the digitalization of sound, a crucial step at the dawn of the computer age. All of the rejected research papers are based around the same phenomena. M describes that during one of his experiments, he noticed a low-frequency sound being emitted from his computer. Initially, he believed that his digitalization process was somehow negatively affecting the underlying hardware. When he could find no fault, his assumptions grew darker. Was this some kind of recording device? A recording device. Was he being spied on? Dismantling the computer apart completely, piece by piece, he could, once again, find nothing suspicious or out of place. This, unfortunately, gave him no relief. Because only now, with all of the parts laid out on the table before him, did M realize that his equipment was still detecting audio signals. Worse yet, it wasn't just coming from one component. It was coming from several. The more he honed in on it, the less he understood. Each component was emitting a different sound. As time went on, it wasn't just a sound, it was many sounds. Rhythmic. Ugly but rhythmic. It was as if the components were singing to each other, talking, like an organism's nervous system communicating with his many components. M soon became convinced that he was looking at a ghost trapped in a machine. The ghost was growing. Obviously not in the mechanical sense, but the signals continued to grow and more sophisticated until eventually he detected what he claimed was the digitalized tune of Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. He asserted that he had never run any experiments with that song on that computer or any other, meaning that the only way the ghost could have known about it would have been if it could actively hear it somewhere in M's vicinity, which was entirely possible. Feeling that he was losing touch with his sanity, he bought and isolated a completely separate computer. He only turned it on once before disassembling it. He then waited and prayed. He prayed he was wrong, but he wasn't. Here too, he detected the frequency. The pattern was the same. First, a faint monotone, then something resembling a dial tone, then the ugly rhythm, then songs. And it sang. Oh God, did it sing? Oh, they all sang. And they were all alive. I shut the book. Or something to that effect, I guess. I glanced at the clock. Well past midnight. Nobody can say it isn't engaging, at least. Yeah, there are a lot of books I like. It might feel a bit strange, but they're engaging. I don't want to put them down. Interesting. I wonder if they're going to play a bit more into the lore that of the actual portrait of Markov. And if not, I'll have to see how I'm going to rate that. I don't even know if how I'm going to work with that after all. Even if most of it went over my head by the end. Definitely the kind of thing she would have been into, though. Probably. If the book marks anything to go by, she never finished it. Or maybe she did? Maybe this was a reread? Maybe. Wouldn't have put it past her, right? Actually, flipping through it again, there is something a little odd. Yeah, here too. Someone's gone and circled some of the letters in every chapter title. Doesn't sound like something she'd do, but I don't see anything suggesting this was a used copy. It's not that old of a book, anyway. Maybe you should Google it, because if this is the only copy, then that would be interesting. From a reporter. Let's see. Including the foreword, the book has 6 chapters. The chapter titles are, and their circled letters are: foreword, 1. Equipment error, 2. Telling me something, 3. Nothing working, 4. They sing of love, 5. All is lost. All is lost. If I take only the circled letters, I get Fi Ti Lit. You know what? I'm gonna write that down. I often do that when I'm like playing, like also games with like riddles or stuff like that. I like writing those things down. It's always good to remember. Then we need T and T or tie and then lit. Doesn't say me anything thus far. Fee. I'm also not very familiar with music, or if this could be like some type of music thing, you know? Gotta keep it nearby. Feet, lit. Feet, something, something, tit, something, something, lit. Ah, yes. Riveting. Lots of T's, and I's, and E's. Some kind of code, maybe? I think the book is having a bad influence on me. I'm following M's footsteps. Good thing I don't own a gun, I guess. Yeah. I slide the book under my desk and put it out of my mind. It's hopeless. It's not hopeless. Don't give up. I don't know whose voices these are. It's hopeless. It's not hopeless. Don't give up. I'll never be a philosopher! You fool! Nobody learns philosophy to become a philosopher. You do it to look smart. You throw out precisely one Plato quote, fake something in Latin, and remember that Nietzsche cried for a horse. That's it. That's philosophy. If you think that's philosophy, then you're just stupid. Sorry, but I am really passionate about... no, I'm not that passionate about philosophy, but... I think people don't really understand what philosophy is, because in the end, all of us have philosophy... How do you call it? I currently... How do you say that in any language? Everyone has philosophy... Not philosophy. Philosophy? Everyone is a little philosopher in their own little questions. There you go. I really can't remember the word right now. But none of that is on the exam! In vino veritas... I don't know why I said it with that accent. In vino veritas, my dear Sayori. Needs to be like Latin. That is not like... That doesn't have anything with it. It has just... In vino veritas, my dear Sayori. You had more than enough time to pass the class. As Plato says, if a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. This is almost as sad as when Nietzsche saw that horse. I don't even know how you exactly say it in English. You really are a master philosopher. Please help me! Stoically, I accept the heavy philosophy book she's been trying to absorb for the past 10 minutes. Alright, what sections are in the exam? Everything! Incredible. I flip through the pages lazily. The truth is, in all of my years of knowing Sayori, I've never once seen her fail an exam. And that's certainly not for her lack of trying. It's just one of the things you eventually come to accept about her. She'd always be okay. In every universe, you think? Moving my microphone a little bit. It's a bit too low for me. I like having it in the corner of my eye. Like I'm using like a headset with a microphone. And I like having it in the corner of my eye. If it's not in the corner of my eye, it bothers me for some odd reason. I don't know why. I'm I'm waiting for Sayori by the lockers when I spot the guys I talked to the other day. They pay me no mind. One of them snickers. That would be then the... So Camo ever showed you the pics? The other slams his locker shut. Knock it out. Don't talk about him. What, you like looking at photos of hot alive women? Shocking. No, I'm serious. Don't talk about him. Don't give people the wrong idea. Huh? The other size. I heard about it today. Nobody's seen him in days. His parents filed a police report and everything. What? Someone took him? I don't know. Who want anything to do with his scrawny ass? I don't know. But my dad says he's been seeing a lot of reports of people going missing as of late. That's concerning. Dude, come on. All I'm saying is I don't want to know. Look, the amused one's demeanor softens. I'll bet you anything he just ran away. Probably over some girl. Camo doesn't know any girls. Yeah, he does. He didn't brag you to... He didn't brag you to... You... He didn't brag you to you about it? He didn't brag about it to you? I'm surprised. Or maybe I'm not. She sounded kind of like a psycho. Said she kept calling him all the time. If someone got him, I'll bet you anything it was her. That's very concerning. Okay, see, that's exactly why we shouldn't talk about him, the other guy sighed. Someone's gonna hear your crap and take you seriously. You want the police knocking at your door and taking your statement? If Camo was just making shit up about the girl, you'll be the liar. Whatever, man. I'm late for practice. See ya. I don't know why I gave him that kind of voice. Whatever. So people are going missing. Well, that's concerning. And he had pictures of dead Yuri. I wonder if there's any connection between those two things. I feel an arm around me, man. Will you look at that? I caught myself a little cute little guy. Ah, it's a little cute guy sometimes. Pretty sure I'm taller than you. That doesn't mean you're not little. And I'm a cute little gal. What a match we make. She pulls me to the entrance. Bonk! Sayori blops onto the chair. I glance around the restaurant. Thankfully, the only attention the stunts seem to have gathered is the waitress. I sit down. The Saturday dates really are a highlight of the week. We're usually too tired to hang out after school, and there's only so many times she can spend the night at my place without her parents raising an eyebrow. Not that they don't suspect something anyway. As the waitress finishes taking our order, I suddenly remember to ask, how'd the exam go? Exam? Oh yeah, no biggie. But forget school. I got you something. I figured. She has been lugging around that suspiciously gift-shaped paper bag around all morning. Around you spinning me. I scratch the back of my head. I scratch the back of my head. Not my birthday as far as I know. You're a big boy now. You get to receive gifts unprompted. Whoa. She slides the bag across the table. I reach into it. It's a record. I don't recognize the album. Or the band. I barely recognize it as a record at all. I have never held one in my life. There is a record that keeps playing down here. And the record is kind of a bit of a part of the logo, with Sayori said in the middle. I don't even have anything to play it with. Well, what do you think? I think nothing. I'm confused. It wasn't easy to find. Your tastes are so niche. The cover isn't the best condition, but the guy said the record should be. Calypso. Wait, that name said... Huh? I've heard somewhere this name before. I'm pretty sure it's not from a record, though. Is it not okay? Did I get it wrong? No, I love it. I'm just all surprised. Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear it. I really do like it. I'm sorry. I clear my throat. You know, I've been looking into some code cracking stuff lately. Code? Yeah, you know. Just something that's been on my mind. Anyhow, sorry, I've just been wondering. At the beginning, there's like this entire entry, this entire prologue. And he talks about a satellite hitting him, but he might not die. The prologue, is it kind of... Was that M? Because, I don't know, it just came to my mind. I was just thinking about how we're kind of getting into code cracking and how it's like, was wondering, what if we do end up in a similar position to M? Where we... And then I was wondering, M like MC? And then I just went into a whole journey in my mind that I can't even fully explain. I don't know. Anyhow, through that, I found out that this town has some interesting history behind it. I didn't actually know that it was built so recently. Apparently, during the First World War, this place used to be a number station. I didn't manage to find what exactly its purpose was, but it's kind of beside the point. Even though its job was supposed to broadcast, one day for some reason it ended up receiving a signal instead. The signal was a bunch of ones and zeros. The people in charge of maintaining the station couldn't make heads or tails of it. But one guy threw the numbers and placed them on a grid. Turns out, arranged like that, you end up with a plan of this whole town. The ones formed the lines, the zeros plain space. A group of religious fanatics concluded that this was a message from their ancestors, commanding them to build the town. So they did. Once the government got wind of it, though, they promptly kicked the fanatics out. This land was essentially their property. After that, they decided it was a waste of infrastructure at that point, so they more or less continued the job, eventually colonizing this place with city folk. Uh-huh. What do you think? Pretty weird, right? Sounds fake. Yeah, I guess it does. Imagine this. It's the middle of the night. You're standing by a lake. You don't know where it's supposed to be, but it's familiar. Because you've been here before. In fact, you've been here many times before. Every night, something calls you back to this horrible, peaceful place. You don't remember the last time you've dreamed of anything that wasn't this. Over time, you've come to recognize this as a dream. But it hasn't made it any easier. If anything, the lucidity has only made it worse. Now you're forced to watch and remember your helplessness. Over there, in the water. There's a young man drowning. He calls your name. Clearly he knows you. You know him too. Of course, when you wake, your rational mind tells you that you don't know him at all. That you're not supposed to. Anyone you'll ever ask will tell you that no such person has ever existed. He's He's a stranger. He's always been there for you. He's not real. You understand all of this. Even now, watching him drown, as he always does. And it makes you feel even worse. This creature of your dreams, this perfect stranger whose only sin is knowing you, exists only to die. Desperately he calls to you, and you do nothing. Not because you can't move, but because you know moving wouldn't change a thing. He would only go on to drown again the next night. What a miserable existence. And what a miserable dream. Of course, all I did was ask you to imagine it. It will never haunt you. It's not your dream. For what it's worth, though, it's not mine either. Okay, so I hear her breathing on the other end of the line. Sayori? Hi. You okay? I don't know. I sit down next to the phone. It's usually best to just let her talk. I'm sorry for always calling. There's nothing to apologize for. It's her dream. You always say that. Because it's the truth. I can hear her breathing into the phone. I know you tolerate me. I'm not tolerating anything. I love you. I know. I know you love me. That's how I keep hurting you. I force you to lie every day. What are you talking about? Is this about the gift again? She sniffs. It's not just a gift. It's everything. Everything? When you tell me that you like me just the way I am. When you tell me that everything will be okay. When you say that you're fine with me waking up with me waking you up in the middle of the night like this. When you say that you'll derail 10 trains for me. Sayori, how long do you think this will last? How long before you finally get fed up with my bullshit? Before you decide that you deserve better? Don't say that. But it's true. We're high schoolers. How many high school sweethearts actually make it past graduation? You say you love me forever. But how can you possibly know that? Because that's how I feel. What do you want me to say? I want you to be honest. I am honest. Do you know how I got the gift wrong? For the last time I said I liked it. It's because the guy I dated last year was into records. That was his favorite band. I mixed you two up. Do you still like this gift? Why are you doing this, Sayori? Her voice quivers. I don't know. Are you angry with me? Her voice cracks. You want me to be honest? I don't know. I'm sorry. I am angry. Probably should have said it more roughly. I am angry. It was something like that. The next day, Sayori doesn't meet me on our school route. I eventually find out she didn't come to school at all. Yeah. You definitely fucked up. Once again, I am given a piece of Smoker Girl's wisdom. Some might feel as far less profound this time around. I crushed my cigarette under my foot. I wasn't trying to be hurtful. I believe you believe that. I don't know what to do. Apologize? Stop dating girls? Don't know what to tell you. She stares at the smoke for a while. You hear about the guy who vanished? Want to know what the current theory is? I shrug. Doesn't sound like I want to know. Aliens. Get out of here. Love all you want, but it's not that far-fetched. I don't sleep too well these days. I've seen things in the night. I'm not the only one. Like what? It's like strange lights in the sky, but it's not aliens. Whatever the prologue hinted at earlier. Well, extraterrestrial life could maybe be considered an alien, but if it doesn't really have any like What if it doesn't have any? The question is, is it an organism, or is it just like a different type of being physically as well in that sense? That would help us acknowledge whether it could be classified as an alien or something different. Like strange lights in the sky. I'm telling you, I saw them. A friend of mine says there was even a beam shooting down once. Don't forget the saucers. Alright, man, joke all you want. But with people going missing, trust me. If aliens want to experiment on us, there's better cattle out there. I skipped the rest of my classes. I've only been to Sayori's house a few times. One of those times I realized was when she confessed to me. When she told me everything that was torturing her. I don't fully blame him too much for that reaction either that he had there. In the end, he still once again is like a high schooler, a teenage guy who, next to the fact that he probably just has like normally these emotions, he probably also doesn't really know yet how to properly deal with these emotions. Like I once remember even people talking about how the girls don't feel 18 because a lot of them, even Yuri, still are very childish, but 18-year-olds are still children. Nothing can really change my mind about that. They are still young, and they're still going to be childish and immature. Like, the difference between an 18-year-old and already a 25-year-old is so big. Of course, even the 25-year-olds can have like childish interests and be childish sometimes like with friends or something. But there's still a big difference between like especially like levels of what's usually viewed as maturity in the two of them. So like even if he is 18, he's in my eyes he's still just a child that how is he supposed to really know how to deal with his emotions, and that situation could probably be very difficult. I was standing right where I am now. I told her I loved her. I still do. But every time she gets like this, I start to doubt it a little more. Well then, that's just how depression will be sometimes. And if you're not ready for a relationship with a... I'm not against people dating when they're still struggling with their mental health issue. I don't like when people are like, you still need to learn to love yourself. Like, yeah, that makes relationships a lot easier. But I also feel like there's a level of ableism to it. Because, like, some mental health disorders their effects will be like... mental disorders will affect them throughout their entire life. It will always to a certain degree. And for some people, especially with, like, treatment-resistant disorders... like some of them are treatment resistant. There's like no real therapy that's functioning for them. There's no real medication that's working for them. Are they just supposed to lock themselves out of social life, and are they not allowed to date as long as the other person feels like they can handle it, as long as the other person can handle it? I just feel like that's somewhat even spirals into the territory of ableism, because like they will continue to exist like that. They will live like that, and they will have to live with like that. Are they not supposed to like live and like have like normal things like relationships because you yourself wouldn't be able to handle a relationship like that? There's nothing wrong with you saying you wouldn't be able to. A lot of people wouldn't. I don't think I would be able to. It can be difficult with my friends, and like I don't really think the relationships with my friends are anyhow damaging, but I feel like a romantic relationship, especially with like living with them, could sometimes be a bit too draining for me, especially since like I'm very emotional myself. And I don't think I would be able to provide the help I would like provide as much stability as some of the others in my friend groups anyway, and in a relationship I wouldn't be able to do it either. But there are some people who want to do it. I don't know it's probably normal to maybe have some of these thoughts every now and then. I know it can be difficult for my friends sometimes. It's like, I love and cherish them, but it can still be draining sometimes. It's just that it's worth it that they're also there for me. It's not like a one-way street where I encourage them and have to do everything for them and like emotional labor-wise. They do it for me too. But like, you yourself have to decide if it's a relationship you would be able to be in. If it's too draining or too stressful for you or all of that, like, that's something you need to decide. You also can't decide that what the other person is going to do. If they're going to date another person and the other person might be able to handle it, then that's also perfectly fine of the mentally ill persons to do. And like, maybe it's just a relationship in this situation with the embassy where it could just be that it's currently draining him a bit and it might still work out. But let's see how it continues, because if every time she gets like this, there's a sensation of, not like as in this is difficult, but as a thing of, I don't know if I love her in the like that much, then maybe it's just a relationship that he can't be in, that he himself just won't be able to handle. And in that case, it would be better to also let her know that, because it's also unfair to her to be stuck in a relationship with a person who can't love her the way she is. Though I do hope she sees that she has a bit more of a what do you call it? Support system, not just relying on one person, because that's too much for one person to handle in general. If the relationship is really just like you are the only person who knows it, well, that's just not going to work out perfectly. The other person, the person with the mental health problem, does need to have a larger support system and needs to also be able to confide in others or with professional help if they find something that works for them. Because putting it all on one person, I don't know, is it currently all on him? Because then that's just also very bad for his health. I can be better. I need to be better. I knock. When I get no answer, I check the front door. It's unlocked. Someone's home then, at least. I let myself in. I'm pouring myself a bit of tea real quick. I'm a bit anxious right now. Finding nobody on the first floor, I creep up the stairs. I creep upstairs. Is she asleep? It wouldn't surprise me, I guess. It'd be a first for me. Waking someone up in their own house. I guess it's something a boyfriend would do, though. Right? Eventually, I find Sayori's room. I knock on the door. Sayori? There's still no response. She really must be asleep. I click my tongue. I didn't think I'd just barge into her room like this either. I'm well past breaching privacy. I sigh. Not like she's left me much of a choice. If I can't have beauty sleep, she shouldn't either, right? I gently open the door. You know, we learned something kind of interesting in philosophy class a while ago. It wasn't even on the exam, but I just remembered it. Who do you figure wins in a foot race? The great Greek hero Achilles? Or a turtle? You'd think Achilles, I'm not sure to say the name, right? He's stronger, faster, has a larger step. And the turtle is old and slow and useless. But you know, the turtle realizes it's not as simple as that. At least when she considers the path they have to cross. At some point, Archelaus crosses half the path. Then, at some point, he reaches half of that. Then half of that. Then half of that. Archelaus is always halving the remainder of his track, and as a result, never reaches the finish line. Ain't that something? The strong and mighty Archelaus would be foiled by infinity itself, letting the poor useless little turtle inevitably catch up to him. She's also trapped by it, but she's still got a chance to reach for the finish line. She might not win, but she won't lose either. And for a brief moment, she can convince herself that that's good enough. It's hope that lets her take the first step. Then the race actually starts. And Archelaus crosses the finish line before she even finishes that first step. And she realizes that she really is just old and useless and stupid, and that hope is just bullshit. So, shh. Don't say anything. I know. She wraps her arms around me. I love you, I whisper. She nuzzles her head against my chest. I love you too. Please don't give up. There is some truth to it, you know. The turtle's reasoning. Every blink of an eye is just a moment, but every moment hides an eternity. This right here and now. You holding me. This is what forever feels like. You won't lose that, Sayori. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. We're all going somewhere, sooner or later, you know? Don't say that. Okay, I won't. She pulls me onto the bed. Sayori, I gave you a gift, didn't I? Don't I get something back? It'll be okay. I promise. I'll be good. We can do whatever you want, okay? I'm sorry. I can't. I get up. Not like this. I see. That's okay. She rolls to the other side of the bed, facing away from me. We can just cuddle if you want, I try. I reach for her shoulder. Gently, she shrugs it off. That's okay. We don't. I'll be fine. I promise. Oh. That's okay. We don't. I'll be fine. I promise. Alright? I just need a little time. Not every day is great. I run my fingers through my hair. Tomorrow, let's go to school together, okay? Sure. Yeah. I sniff. You can call me tonight whenever, if you want. I really don't mind the calls. I like hearing your voice. Always. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, it's okay. You can go. I'll be okay. I love you. I love you too. Consider reaching out to her, but think better of it. I've done enough damage. You're just a teenager who doesn't really know how to control your emotions very well yet. And a lot of adults in those situations wouldn't either. And the part about the bed, sometimes you're just not in the mood. And chances are, maybe he just isn't into sex. There are people like that. So that's not like especially that last part with he's not in the mood is absolutely not his fault either. Sarah doesn't call that night. She doesn't wait for me on my way to school the next morning. She doesn't show up for class. I find myself in the town library. I'm barely focusing on the book in front of me. I'm too tired for everything today. Can't speak, can't eat, can't move. That's why I'm here. because I can't bring myself to trudge on home. Of course, the real reason is far more cowardly. I don't know how I'll feel when I pass by her house. I run my hand across my face. This book is on UFOs and the alleged alien encounters, courtesy of Smoker Girl. She didn't clarify whether it was based on actual events or just fiction, but I don't think I would have been able to tell the difference either way. It's not terribly interesting. The fact that I find the number station story mentioned makes me a little less embarrassed. What is it about aliens that people find so fascinating? I'm pretty sure we already have discovered aliens, like extraterrestrial life. I'm pretty sure we already discovered that there is bacteria on other planets. I'm pretty sure that I've seen like documentaries about it. That they already found like some aliens, bacteria, which is life, which is on other planets, and therefore this bacteria are technically aliens. I'm not extremely interested in either, but I do think like life outside of it, it's like, what's more scary? Thinking that we are the only beings in the universe, like our planet is the only planet with life on it, which I'm pretty sure they have confirmed there's bacteria on other planets, so like general life there is on other planets, but like intelligent life could you also be like, what people think of aliens is like more of an intelligent life form, perhaps more intelligent than humans. Like, I don't think it's too far-fetched of a thought. I must admit I'm not too much into it. I used to be more into it. I think when I was 10 or so, I watched like E.T. Or 9? Something along with... I watched E.T. once and I got like super into reading it, on stuff like that and all. But I don't know. But it is interesting to think about. It is fascinating, like... How would life develop on other planets? There are like different conditions. There are like this bacteria on other planets. As far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure I've heard of it! Like, how would that develop? How does it develop? What does it feed on? There has to be like some... Like, if we give it enough time and don't interfere with it too much and ruin it right away, could like something similar to our Earth develop? I think that could be an interesting thing to think about. Who cares if we're alone in the universe? Many people care about that. Look around, man. You're not alone right now. Yeah, but it's like it's the fact that the universe is so vast and we are just a small part of it. If aliens want to come join the party, then it's up to them to make the first move. And no, abduction doesn't count. They're so damn advanced that they secretly built the pyramids for us. What do they want with us now? Yeah, that is right. I forgot that there was like this theory on that. But I'm pretty sure there have been documentaries, because I was also into Egypt for a long time. Because I also have like a book about Egypt. But I was even younger back then. I don't remember the real age. The real age, like 7 or something in that case. I was really into Egypt, and I'm pretty sure I've also seen documentaries on the fact that pyramids could have been built by humans. I'm pretty sure there was something of that. I'm pretty sure. Or it was a documentary about how they couldn't build it. I know there was something with the Sphinx. I don't know how to say it in English properly. About like some star signs, and that the scat human, the huge build, the Sphinx, you know, has some. There was some connection there that they think humans wouldn't really have been able to tell. But like, what if the people in Egypt were just very advanced? It's stupid. Even my thoughts are ill-tempered. I need sleep. I shut the book. I take one last glance at the cover as I carry it back to the shelf. Thinking about it now, kind of an odd title given the subject matter. What's it even supposed to mean? Portrait of Markov. I decide to take the long way home. A cool breeze runs through my hair. Ripples form on the surface of the lake. Interesting. The sound of water calms me. Tomorrow is another day. And the day after. And the day after that. It's just how it is. We live, then we die. But I decided a long time ago that I'm gonna fight for every second of life I've got in me. That's a good... that's the spirit. Sarah said infinity can hide in a single moment. But human existence is, in itself, part of yet another, much larger infinity. Like a grain of sand. Soon enough, nobody will remember us. It would be like we're never even here. I'm surprised when the thought gets a laugh out of me. It feels childish, even cynical. Well, I mean, that's just the way it is. I do believe that a lot of pessimists title themselves realists, even though they're just being pessimistic, but I honestly think that is a pretty realistic thought. That's the way it is. That's why we need to make something out of this life, I suppose. Maybe even a bit edgy. It's just the way it is, though. When did I turn into a manga protagonist? The moment you were born. The moment you were the MC of some type of story. The moment you were an MC of a story. But aren't we all the main characters of our lives? On the other hand, the MC of... what, like, short for main character? In actuality, the girls are much more the main characters, especially Monica. So... can't really use that term for him exactly. Who knows, maybe in reality it's the other characters that are more of the main character, like this weird being out there somewhere that might be communicating with zeros and ones in that universe. I'm almost impressed. That girl certainly knows how to bring out something in me. I've been thinking of what I'll say to her, and I think I've got it. It's true. When I say that I love her forever, I can't possibly know what the future holds in store. But right now I do love her. And when you love someone earnestly, you're in it for the long run. If I didn't, what's even the point of even starting? There are a lot of things you can start, and if you realize that that it's not your thing, you can stop. Like, for example, in education, and you realize, wow, I really don't actually like being in the medical field. Maybe I need to try something different. Maybe I've realized that looking at people who might just be on their deathbed isn't something I can handle in the long run. And then you can stop your education if you're in a position, like, also financially and stuff, because for some people it isn't that easy as well on that front. Or something like that. I guess... yeah. That's what I'll say. We'll be a philosopher to her, I suppose. But I never do. Tomorrow comes. Sarah doesn't meet me that morning. Sarah doesn't show up at school. Sarah's in her bedroom when her parents come back home that night. Oh god, she's gone. Sarah isn't at any of her friends' houses when we start calling around. Sarah isn't anywhere, no matter how desperate the police ultimately search. Sarah never answers, no matter how loudly I cry her name. Sayori isn't anywhere. She's been one of the abducted people. Abducted by aliens or some other force? Who knows? Sayori is gone.